Government pushes foreign MSME owners in Bali to scale up. And small islands in Indonesia's West Nusa Tenggara are at risk due to climate change. Stay tuned for details on these stories and more. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is October 9th and 10th, 2024. And my name is Bruce. Selamat siang. What is the weather like today? Another lovely day. It has been hot. Yesterday it was all the way up to 32. Right now, 10 o'clock in the morning, it is 30 degrees Celsius. And the wind speed is 12.4 kilometers per hour and humidity 66%. We haven't had any rain. Really, we had really brief showers the other day, but it is still dry. Okay, lots of stuff to do as usual. And so let's get started with the first story. Government pushes foreign MSME owners in Bali to scale up. Lots of deportations still going on and always in the news. And one of the common causes is violating investor visa regulations. Immigration authorities in Bali plan to conduct an in-depth evaluation of local business operations after receiving complaints about a growing number of micro, small, and medium enterprises, those are the MSMEs, on the island being controlled by foreign nationals. The measure is aimed at evaluating the performance of businesses run by foreign nationals and encouraging them to increase their investments to 10 billion rupiah, in line with prevailing regulations. 10 billion rupiah, about 638,162 US dollars. This is according to the Director General of Immigration. He said, at least there will be no more new cases, and the current foreign business owners are encouraged to adhere to the regulation. Local business owners, supported by community leaders and politicians, have called for the central and provincial governments to ensure prevailing laws are strictly enforced. The hope is that the government can monitor small businesses in the Canggu area and other areas, and that business permits will also be tightened and checked regularly so as not to kill the businesses of local residents. This is according to Yoga Antara, a rental business owner in Bali. A preliminary investigation carried out by the Immigration Office in response to complaints confirmed foreign control of many MSMEs in the province. When my team conducted the operation, it found that foreign nationals have been issued business identification numbers, NIBs. They have a permit then to open a salon. He was quoted in CNN Indonesia. He explained that the Investment Coordinating Board policies made it possible for foreigners to invest in Indonesia with a minimum investment of 1 billion rupiah, according to the policy of BKPM in 2017. So it was 1 billion rupiah at the time. Meanwhile, if we refer to the prevailing law, rupiah 1 billion is for opening a business in the micro category. So there's a problem, he said. He noted that it was complicated for immigration officers to take action against foreigners involved in the MSME sector in Bali. A source at the BKPM said that the minimum amount of capital in foreign investment is now 10 billion rupiah, excluding the value of land and buildings. Amounts below that were reserved for domestic direct investment, PMDN. Therefore, a foreigner operating a small business at only rupiah 1 billion would initiate a nominee agreement, which had no legal effect, according to a source who refused to be quoted. Pak Silmai concurred that the minimum PMA account was 10 billion following a recent increase that took effect at the beginning of the year. This increase had been decided under the leadership of the Mineral Resources Minister, who at the time also served as the Investment Minister and head of BKPM. The 1 billion PMA requirement would mean that many small businesses in Bali are owned by foreigners, so the requirement must be increased to a minimum of 10 billion, and that puts them in the medium category. The new regulation required foreigners holding residence permits with an investment value of 1 billion to go up to 10 billion If they do not increase their investment value by the end of this year, the issuance of their investor visa will be revoked. However, Immigration Office is still considering whether to give foreign nationals one more year to increase their investments. Foreign capital could fuel MSME growth in Bali. Indonesian MSME Association, Akumindo, said that foreign investments could boost the MSME sector by making local businesses more competitive. He said, "We have to look at the bright side. To boost our MSME performance, the government lets foreign investors compete." He underscored that the MSME community took no issue with the flow of foreign capital to Bali. However, he said, if it becomes overwhelming, then we may need to take action. He also stated that globalization facilitated cross-border foreign investment in Indonesia and out as well. He said, "We have not received any complaints from the local MSME organizations, and we hope that this will not limit the performance of MSME actors." So that was a significant increase, going from 1 billion to 10 billion. So if you've got 10 billion to invest, you're talking about 600,000 US. Wow, a lot of money. And so what they're really focusing on are these small businesses that are competing with local businesses, and well, some of the local businesses are not happy about it. And so they're going to be doing checks on that. If you happen to be a business owner and you have a 1 billion rupiah investment to get your investor visa, you've got until the end of the year. As of right now, you've got until the end of the year to jack it up to 10 billion or find another way to get a visa. So tightening up rules and regulations. And here's a story that can affect people that like these 3 little islands off the coast of Lombok. And so let's take a look at that. Small islands in Indonesia's West Nusa Tenggara are at risk due to climate change. Climate change, which triggers sea level rise, puts threats on small islands in West Nusa Tenggara, NTB, Indonesia, the provincial government stated. Small islands in West Nusa Tenggara are in danger of disappearing in the next 5 to 10 years, province's regional assistant stated during a tree planting ceremony. He pointed out that some top tourist destinations in the province, such as Gili Trawangan, Gili Meno, and Gili Air, are also in danger of disappearing due to rising sea levels. These 3 islands, populated by tourists, are not surrounded by abrasion protection walls, so they are at risk of drowning due to climate change-induced rising sea levels. These protection walls can be in the form of mangrove trees. So, Pak Gandhi invited the community to protect the environment by planting trees and not throwing waste into the sea. He said this aims to maintain the sustainability of future generations. If not us, who else will care about the environment, he stressed. A scientific journal published by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's National Center for Environmental Information stipulates that the global average sea level has risen by more than 20 centimeters since 1880. In 2023, the global average sea level set a new record high at 101.4 millimeters above the 1993 level. According to NTB Regional Long-Term Development Plan for 2025 to 2045, the local government has a vision to become an advanced, strong, safe, sustainable, and prosperous archipelagic province. There are 401 small islands apart from the 2 large islands in NTB, that's Lombok and Sumbawa, my old home, Sumbawa. These hundreds of small islands have huge potential to support the province's income per capita. So, wow, 5 to 10 years? And stories about sinking islands in the Pacific, there are lots of them. People are concerned about this rising sea level and what it's going to do. And so, hitting close to home here, of course we know Jakarta is sinking, but now we've got Gili Trawangan, Gili Meno, and Gili Air. So if you like those places, enjoy them before they're underwater. Okay, so one of the big issues that has been in the news recently is online gambling. And, you know, gambling has been going on here in Bali for, I don't know, thousands of years. Cockfighting in particular, but it's also all sorts of little games of chance and dominoes and cards. But online gambling has become a huge issue that the government's concerned about. Examining the massive online gambling addiction in Indonesia, including in Bali, Here's the explanation from Unud, Sociologists. Even though there have been many victims, many people are still tempted to play online gambling, judol. Sadly, judol has begun to infect the younger generation in their teens. According to Udayana University sociologist Wayu Budi Nugroho, basically humans are homo ludens, or creatures who like to play around. Often risky things are considered exciting because there's a trial and error activity involved, such as judol, where you can win or lose. That's the fun of gambling. Even though many people already know that it is all a fabrication, meaning there are people who control the judo business, so it's definitely rigged, the possibility of winning is still there, even if it's small, he said. Another factor that makes people addicted to judo is the failure of the doctrine of meritocracy in the country. The meritocracy system believes that everyone has the same opportunity to change their fate, change their life, either through education or hard work. But in reality, nowadays, education does not guarantee that someone will be able to live a stable life, and the same goes for hard work, he said. The rise of memes on social media about certain social groups with privileges, or memes that criticize the existence of insiders, or doll, so that life of one social group is smoother than other social groups. These are everywhere. If you go through Indonesian social media, you find a lot of these. These kinds of things, he said, are what caused the meritocracy doctrine to fail in the country. As a result, people began to look for other alternatives to be able to live comfortably or to get rich instantly, one of which is through judo. A few years ago, there was a crazy rich phenomenon trend that seemed to take advantage of the stock business, he said. According to the professor, the level of addiction to judo is the same as conventional gambling, such as checky, rummy, dominoes, dajin, fairball, and others. That is because there is an element of playing around and trying it, he said. But judo has become very massive because it's very accessible to our society. It can be done anytime, anywhere. As long as you've got a gadget, you can play. This is why judo has become a massive problem in the country. The impact of judo itself varies from mild to severe. He calls mild being people can lose money for nothing, sell their positions for judo, or have debts, whether large or small. The serious ones, he said, is when this activity triggers criminal events. For example, someone steals, robs, or kills another person in order to play. In addition, there have also been several cases of people committing suicide because of massive amounts of debt. One of the biggest challenges is to stop judo in children. Based on data from the Minister of Communication and Information, there are almost 200,000 children who play judo with a total turnover of almost 300 billion. Asked what efforts can be made to combat judo, he said it can be done in various ways. Among them, increasing the narrative and news about people who have been harmed by judo. This can make people who want to play think again, and those who are playing already to stop. The implicit narrative that can be built through various news reports is that we don't need to taste dirt to know what dirt tastes like. He also assessed that the government was quite serious, as proven by the presence of the Judo Task Force, which has submitted the names of ministries and institutions involved in judo. However, it must be admitted that to stop this in children, a special approach is needed. In this case, parents play an important role in supervising their children as well as the role of teachers in school. The eradication of judo must start from government institutions because in any case, public officials and state apparatus must be examples for the wider community. All government apparatus must be free from judo. This can be done by adding judo task force personnel or giving strict sanctions to those involved in playing judo. So gambling, online gambling, really is a problem, and there's stories about this in the Indonesian press all the time. So the government's worried about online gambling, but what about the people that want to build a casino here in Bali, particularly in North Bali? And what about Wolbachia? Remember Wolbachia? We talked about that, and this is in order to control dengue. Scientists reassert Wolbachia's minimum risk for dengue control. As health authorities release Wolbachia-infected mosquito eggs in West Jakarta as an effort to curb dengue, experts have reasserted the safety of the relatively new technology, noting that available studies show that it poses little to no risk to humans or the environment. And you know they already started this in Bali. We had this done up here, and there was a big sudden increase in a lot of mosquitoes around. Last Friday, the Jakarta administration launched a program to release thousands of mosquito larvae infected with the Wolbachia bacteria in West Jakarta. Nearly 1,200 households were selected to be given buckets filled with eggs and larvae and make sure that they hatch into adult mosquitoes. Wolbachia is a bacterium found in 60% of insect species, but not in the mosquitoes known as a vector of dengue fever. When these mosquitoes are infected with Wolbachia, the bacterium weakens the dengue virus, thereby reducing the mosquito's ability to transmit the disease to humans. When a male mosquito infected with Wolbachia mates with a non-infected female, the eggs produced do not hatch. If either the female or the male or both carry Wolbachia, their larvae will also carry the microorganism, resulting in adult mosquitoes that are inhibited from spreading the dengue virus. This site in West Jakarta was selected for the project due to its high record of dengue cases, 54 cases per 100,000 people. West Jakarta also recorded the highest number of dengue patients with 799 cases in April, before decreasing to a double-digit figure in September. This district, the Kembangan district, has a high population density. Residents across the district are known to work together, so principally they're open to the plan to release these infected mosquitoes. This is according to West Jakarta Mayor. Kembangan is one of 5 regions selected in a pilot project initiated by the Health Ministry. The project aims to release the infected mosquitoes to see its efficacy in controlling dengue transmission in real-life settings. Previous studies and trials, including one conducted in Yogyakarta by researchers from Gajah Mada University, showed that such technology could reduce dengue cases by 77%. It can also reduce hospitalization of dengue patients by 86%. However, the plan has been met with some resistance by the public. The opposition was mainly fueled by claims that the lab-bred mosquitoes may cause adverse effects on humans and the environment. Among claims recently circulated among residents and on social media was that the bacterium may increase a chronic and fatal heartworm disease among dogs and cats. Such claims cited studies which suggest that the bacterium was detected in the Dilophilaria immitis, a parasite causing canine and feline heartworm disease that's transmitted to dogs and cats from mosquito bites. Never heard of that one before. This claim has been refuted by scientific studies. This claim has been refuted in a study published in Scientific Report in September, which found that Wolbachia did not affect the capacity of the mosquitoes to transmit the worm. The study authors also suggested that the worm infection in these mosquitoes would not interfere with the Wolbachia dengue control strategy. The widely circulating worm medicine for cats and dogs is more than effective to kill the heartworm, according to a doctoral candidate in veterinary medicine in the Niigata University in Japan. Public resistance to the Wolbachia technology is among the challenges calculated by an expert panel formed by the Health Ministry when deliberating about the pilot. The panel, composed of 25 researchers from various fields, including virology, entomology, social economy, assessed the available research to determine the risk posed by spreading the infected mosquitoes. They concluded that the risks were minimal and can be ignored. However, politics is coming into this. It has been noted that the Jakarta gubernatorial election in November could impact the pilot project in Kembangan. Dharma Hongrekon, a retired police general who's been vocal in opposing the Wolbachia project, is running for the governor's seat. In past years, he was known for publishing claims that the technology may increase the mosquito population overall and lead to a spread of other mosquito-borne illnesses. When asked by reporters recently about his opinion on the project in Kembangan, he said it was against human nature, as mosquitoes should be killed or captured rather than released into the wild. He also warned people against the potential adverse effects of the program. However, health authorities have been preparing for such challenges. They said, "We'll communicate openly about every aspect of the technology and listen to what people need in relation to the program." Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.